Hello to all of our Facebook followers. I'm Liz from Great River Greening, and today it's Earth Day, so we're doing a special talk with a friend of mine. Her name is Emma, and she owns Emma's Wildflower Farm in Dunn County, Wisconsin. I've been friends with her for years, but she just moved there about a year ago, and today is she has a Facebook page, Emma's Wildflower Farm, and it just turned 1 year old. Thank you so much for doing this Facebook live chat, Emma.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely. So how did you get started working with pollinators?
Well, there are kind of two segments. So last year, kind of at the start of the year, I went through some rough business and then the pandemic started, and it just got me kind of reevaluating what I love, what I care about, and what I want to do with my life. And I dug into kind of my memories of what I liked as a little girl. And one of the key things that I loved the most was my grandfather would take me out to the milkweed patch, we called it. It was really a ditch by Claremont Avenue in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, but it was filled with milkweed. And we would spend the day just digging around through the milkweed, finding the monarch butterfly caterpillars, and then we would catch them and we would bring them back. And in his workshop, we would create these elaborate cages where we would raise the butterfly caterpillars into butterflies, and then we'd release them. And I started thinking about that, and then I started researching how monarchs and a lot of these pollinators are endangered, and thinking about what I can do to help that in a way that is healing and beneficial for me, and hopefully is healing and beneficial for nature. So I just kind of started digging up my friends' yards at first and building small pollinator gardens, and realized I wanted to kind of take it to another level.
Very cool. And how did you get all the way to Dunn County, Wisconsin?
I grew up in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, which is about an hour south of here. And I was initially looking for something that would be closer to my folks' place and where my family is. So I was kind of looking around a 45-minute radius to that. And Dunn County is perfect because it's kind of right at the border of where the driftless region of Wisconsin is. And that area is particularly great for restoration. And that also I know is kind of a focus for the USDA, rebuilding pollinator prairies in the driftless region. So that's kind of something I wanted to look in that area. So I'm kind of right on the border of it, but I still have all of the kind of geographic benefits.
Sure. And the farmhouse, I think I read that you saw a sign when you saw that it had previously been occupied by someone named Emma.
Yes, Emma Gray was the original resident of this 130-year-old Victorian farmhouse. And it just kind of, I don't know, really spoke to me learning about her story, how she had lived in New York upstate and started to do some farming there. And then she decided with her husband to move to Wisconsin because there was so much farming going on at the time. And they initially started a hotel here, and it was a whole little town called Greytown. And this house is actually called Greytown House because it was the center of the little town. There are still some little bits and pieces of that old town left, but it's not really acknowledged. There are the ruins of the Greytown cheese factory are on the edge of the property, which I love. I think that's very Wisconsin.
Of course. So it's about an hour away from Eau Claire. How far is it from, would you say, like the Twin Cities area? Is that about an hour too?
About an hour or two, yeah.
Okay. So what have been the biggest lessons that you've learned as you've gotten involved with pollinators and kind of grown your passion for them, I guess?
I think the key is that nature's in charge. Nature knows what she's doing and what she wants to do. And you can read all of the books that you want about how it's supposed to work and the right way to do things. And at the end of the day, you're not in charge. You can do it, a certain way, and nature's going to do it the way she wants to do it. So no two yards are the same, no two pieces of land are the same. And the idea for me is that I'm here to kind of foster what nature wants to do and help to undo some of the the I hesitate to use the word harm, but there is a lot of damage that's been done to the property because of years and years of corn and soy rotation, which isn't particularly friendly to the soil. So my job is just to kind of give nature a little helping hand when she needs it. And often she doesn't. Often she just wants me to stay out of her way and just enjoy it, which I like.
Yeah. So, what are some of your favorite things to plant, like grasses or flowers? I saw some
Flowers.
planted.
Yeah. Mostly flowers. I am going to be planting some grasses. I have some favorite flowers. I love blanket flower. I love New England aster. I think those are beautiful. I love milkweed, of course, because of how it attracts the monarch butterfly caterpillars. They are very specific in what they want to eat. So milkweed is great for that. And I also love kind of learning how different pollinators have different affinities for different plants. And they've just kind of co-evolved in this really beautiful way.
Sure. And what are some of your least favorite things, like invasives? I mean, here in Minnesota, we have a buckthorn situation. What do you have out there that's
Yeah,
troublesome?
there are two friends that are that I have a love and hate with. One is Siberian squill, and it's just this gorgeous flower, and I love it. It's beautiful, but it spreads so fast, and it is just like what it has taught me is that yards are just ready for any sort of plant that's slightly stronger than grass to come in and take over. And I have a hard time saying that Siberian squill is bad because it's an early spring flower that, there aren't a ton of flowers blooming right now for pollinators. So it provides a food source, but it's not as nutritious as our native pollinators. It's a European import. And yeah, it's just spreading. I know I used to live in the Linden Hills neighborhood in Minneapolis, and a lot of yards there are just being taken over by it, which is really
Mhm.
pretty. I like it more than grass, but it's it's very playful and likes to take up space.
Yeah, there's so many things that we encounter too with our work that they look great, but they take over and they keep other things from growing, and it becomes a
Exactly.
problem. And even today, like I had originally put up a photo of something I thought looked great, and it turned out to be spotted knapweed. It was an invasive on that, and no, but but
Yeah,
it's so hard. It's all about educating yourself where you can and trying to learn.
yeah,
Okay, it's pretty, but this might not be the place for it, or it needs to
right.
be. I mean, there's only so much you can do sometimes with it.
There is,
I
there is.
noticed on your page you had a big pile of, it might have been from last fall, but it was like burdock.
Oh yeah, burdock. That was my other one that I was going to mention. My other love and hate. Like, it's such a playful plant with the little spiky seed pods that get in my hair and take me hours and hours to untangle. Um, but yeah, another one that just takes up tons of space and is just like ready to take over the entire farm if given the chance.
Absolutely. So, how has this whole journey kind of changed your perspective, either in life or the outdoors?
I think that it's helped me be a lot more chill. Like I've in the past I've been a person who's very itinerant. Like I need my lists, I need my to-dos, I need, to get this done and that done. And that's just not the way that the rest of the world works. Like, bees do not really have a to-do list that they follow. I mean, they need to gather food and stuff, but then they'll just be kind of lazing about on a flower, having a great time. And like, I can do that too. Like, I can chill and I can do that. I can work and I can chill and I can achieve a better balance of like resting and relaxing and working.
I feel like I've learned to be more chill just from hearing that. I'm like, I can be chill and relaxing. I don't
Yeah,
need a to-do list all the time. Like I'm very to-do list oriented. So
yeah.
I gotta remember that bees don't have to-do lists.
It's hard when you go and you're looking at a flower and there's a bumblebee just cuddled up there, just basking in the sun and just chilling out. It's like I can do that too. I'm allowed to do that too.
Absolutely. So what are your planting plans for this season? It's a little early to put anything all that much in the ground right now, but do you have plans?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got a lot of land here. I've got 40 acres. The key piece that I'm going to be focusing on is the 5 or so acres that were previously in corn and soy rotation. The corn was taken out late last year. And so start of June, I'll be putting in prairie seeds. It's about a 50-50 mix between wildflowers and native grasses, all native to Wisconsin. And that's kind of the centerpiece of the project. I also have a lot of overgrown areas that I'm going to be kind of chipping away at and putting flowers in, taking non-natives out little by little.
Very cool. Do you
Yeah.
have like a favorite source for your seeds, or do you have a recommended person you get them from?
I've been getting a lot of my seeds and plants from Lupine Gardens in Amory, Wisconsin. I think that they just put a lot of care into the plants that they're raising, and it's relatively close to here, so I know that it's native, like almost as native as you can get. I love the idea of sourcing things from ground that's really close to where I am.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we're friends on Facebook, and I've been following your farm since the beginning, and you've inspired me to start my own pollinator garden. And I'm like, where do I start? And you search for stuff, and I go online first before anything. And of
Yeah,
course, you get all these websites. It's like I don't even know where this is from. It has like a packet, and they'll just send you stuff.
right.
But it helps because we work with Great River Greening works with Minnesota Native Landscapes, and they make it
Okay.
so easy. Like there's like a buy a 6-pack of 6 plants each, and it's like this drop down. You pick things, and they have charts of like what kind of land are you planning on, what season do you want something to blossom. I'm trying to put together a good mix. I have like a wish list, but I have to
Yeah.
pare it down. And I
Okay, so
have
what's number one on your wish list?
Oh my gosh, I should pull it up. I don't remember. It was like, oh my gosh, it's making me so nervous because I had like I needed to pare it down, but I had
Yeah.
like they were like blazing star or something, and
Oh,
I'm so
so pretty.
excited. I had this like just this little triangle of dirt that we've never done anything with. There
Yeah.
was moss there, and my neighbor was like, "I'm gonna steal your moss before you do anything with that."
Cool.
I'm like, sure. Thanks for telling me.
Yeah.
It's not really season anymore, but okay.
Yeah.
um, so I'm just gonna like kind of wind it down a little bit so people can find you on. So Emma's Wildflower Farm. I put that in a comment. So if anybody wants to check that out, there's tons of photos and the progress and Lily. There are photos of Lily, the beautiful cat.
Yeah.
So at the very least, if you want to see a cat, go to that page. And also, Emma, you have a Patreon account where people can support you in the work that you're doing on your farm. And that's also linked in your Facebook page.
Absolutely.
Okay. So promo done. Thank you so much again for doing this. I know we just talked about this pretty recently, but I wanted to do something for Earth Day, and I saw that this was the anniversary of the Facebook page, so I thought it'd be a cool thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. I
Yeah.
appreciate you reaching out to me, and it was great to talk to you.
It was great talking to you. It's been too long.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.